Yo, what is up YouTube? James back here and welcome back to another episode of VGC 2020 Baek Battles. Today we have the Slowbro team once again with Galarian Slowbro, NDD, Incineroar, Gastrodon, Togekiss, and Fairphone. If you haven't checked out the previous episode, highly recommend go checking it out. But as always, you can try out this team alongside me. There is a payment of the team down below as well as a renter code available in the description down below. So make sure you go try it out if you want to try out this team alongside me. But thank you all for the amazing support on YouTube and Twitch. But it's been incredible. The amount of growth on the channel itself has risen dramatically over the past few days, and I really want to thank everyone for the support. If you're brand new just tuning in, or if you're like an old time watcher, I appreciate it as much. But yeah, so yeah, as always, be sure to leave a like down below on the video. It really does help me out, especially if you enjoy these videos, especially leaving a comment down below. It really helps push my video forward to new eyes, so I'd really appreciate that. So if you want to help me or the channel and this video out, be sure to leave a like down below and leave a comment down below. But we're gonna get started and play these next two games with this team once again. So today's common question that I am going to announce for today is going to be, what do you do when you want to relax? And I think for me, when I want to relax, I usually just read light novels or some kind of manga, maybe watch anime, but I haven't actually had much time to watch anime recently. So usually I just catch up with like maybe a manga chapter or two and maybe read some light novels. We got our first opponent though with the team of Politoed. What's that thing called? Urshifu. I don't know which Urshifu though. Whimsicott, Rillaboom, Groudon, and Togekiss. So interesting team. Politoed without a Swift Swim user. The only form of speed controls could be Trick Room or Tailwind on the Whimsicott. Okay, so I do like getting up Trick Room here. It is pretty good against my opponent's team. Gastrodon does do a lot of work. Of course, there is double grass, but it does do a lot of work here. I do like the Togekiss Slowbro lead. I think it's very effective against this team that my opponent's running. I really like Gastrodon on the back. And then the following question is, do I like Fairphone? Because Fairphone does wall a lot of my opponent's team. Or rather, I stop like something like Grassy Glide coming up from the Rillaboom. And I could definitely see myself liking NDD here or Incineroar, but I'm leaning towards maybe the NDD because the terrain just stops it immensely. Yeah, I like that. It also just does a lot of spread damage, which I think I like against my opponent's team overall. But as always, if you haven't been following my Twitch channel, I highly recommend checking it out. Twitch.tv/JamesWBek. If you want to see more VGC content as well as Series 5 stuff, I have been streaming almost every single day with VGC and some variety games. Highly recommend go check it out if you haven't already. Link in the description down below. But let's get started with today's episode. What are we going to face here? Going to be the Whimsicott, the Groudon lead, so probably some kind of fake tier shenanigans, which is alright here, because I will lead my Slowbro plus Togekiss. I feel like this is actually, I could sack my Togekiss here, but I don't think that's really the play. I actually think the play is to go for the Trick Room here, and actually I think it is going out into my NDD. The reason I like going out into NDD is because of the fact that if you go for, where do I sack Togekiss? Like, I could follow me here, but it can get awkward, I guess. Because I don't want to follow me and then he goes for like Max Darkness, Slowbro thing getting knocks out. I think I'm going to go NDD actually though. Yeah, because I want offensive pressure, and I actually really like the NDD switch. It prevents the Whimsicott from going for anything with Prankster. It allows me to have some kind of offensive pressure on the field immediately, which I think is really good. So we'll see what comes out here. It is going to be the Dynamax probably. No, Dynamax. Taunt going to come out into the NDD slot, so that catches that. And Flash Cannon also coming out, which is completely fine. Doing an okay amount of damage, but not too bad here, as we do get Trick Room up and we're in a pretty decent spot overall. Now I can go for something like a Surf right off the bat. Really like that Surf play, and honestly going Gastrodon is very tempting here. I really like that play actually, because one, I get to boost on my Gastrodon. I think maybe a potential switch is the Rillaboom coming back out, which I could definitely see. Since we saw Taunt, I'm not going to expect Encore on this Whimsicott. Usually they only run 1 out of 2. And I really like going for that Surf combination because, one, I get to break a Sash on the Whimsicott and set up for my Gastrodon to start sweeping my opponent's team. So let's see here. We will get Gastrodon in. It's going to be the Surf. No switch out actually coming out for my opponent, so I am going to be able to get a Surf off. Hopefully it's not Energy Ball Whimsicott. I don't know if my opponent would go for the double up though. We'll see here though. Surf going to come out. do an okay amount to both Pokemon, as we are going to see the eject button actually come out in from the Whimsicott. So no switcheroo could have happened. Let's see if it's going to be something like the Rillaboom coming out. Is Rillaboom coming out? Okay. And let's see what the Duraludon goes for. Maybe a Flash Cannon once again. Could be a Dark Pulse. Draco Meteor is also a potential play. It is going to be a Grassy Seed Rillaboom. So it's not Assault Vest, which is actually pretty good for me. Okay. And Dragon Pulse is going to come out. Okay. Into the Slowbro, which will take it decently okay. Yep. Now, I do want to prevent Grassy Glide from going out into my Gastrodon. So I do think the switch out is a very safe play for me into the NDD slot, and I actually really like going for a Max Hailstorm into the Rillaboom. I don't know if I KO Gigantamax Rillaboom, if it Dynamaxes or it goes for the Gigantamax, but I think it's actually worth it to just go for the knock-on to Rillaboom, because if I can get the knock-on Rillaboom, I'm in a really solid position here, and I think it's definitely worth it here. Grassy Glide might also not just KO a Gastrodon based on what we saw previously, so I think this is 100% worth it. We'll go NDD here to prevent Grassy Glide from going for a priority. And let's see what my opponent went for. It also blocks any fake out, which is also really nice here. If my opponent went for the fake out in Slowbro, for instance, expecting maybe a Gastrodon attack here, we will Dynamax our Gastrodon here because I do want to try to get rid of this. I do want to get rid of this Rillaboom, and if I can get rid of the Rillaboom, I'm in a really good spot. So we will see the Dynamax come out from the Gastrodon coming out, and let's see, are we seeing a Dynamax or Gigantamax from my opponent? We are not. So Hailstorm is going to come out. We saw it was Grassy Seed, so there's no way this Rillaboom should be able to take this Max Hailstorm at +1 with Life Orb on the Gastrodon, able to blow back that Rillaboom. So Rillaboom does go down, and no way to change the terrain unless my opponent Dynamaxes and goes for a max move that changes terrain. Gastrodon will take a bit of chip. Dragon Tail comes out, but since we're Dynamax, we cannot actually be ejected out. That actually concerned me for a second. I was like, wait. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. Okay. So we are able to eliminate the Rillaboom, which is amazing because that was probably the most offensive threat my opponent had. The Whimsicott's going to come out here, and I really just don't see a reason not to just go for Max Quake and Expanding Force here. Because if Whimsicott Dynamax, so be it. I can Quake here to boost my special defense here with my Gastrodon, knock out the Duraludon as well, even if it Dynamaxes. I don't believe my opponent had a Flying type on the team. No, they did not, so they don't exactly have a switch here. And it looks like no switch or protects either way. So we are going to, looks like, be able to get a double knockout because this is a Quake going to knock out the Duraludon. Duraludon has really low special defense, and I really doubted it would be able to survive that. It looks like the Assault Vest was probably on the Duraludon if it had Dragon Tail, which, you know, even when Dynamax is +1 life or Quake from Gastrodon, I really don't think it would actually be able to live. And then a single target Expanding Force is a base power of like 120, I believe, into the Whimsicott. Yeah, just able to obliterate it. So Whimsicott goes down. My opponent has 3 turns of Dynamax available with whatever the last one is, but we still have all 4 Pokemon on my side of the field. This is looking pretty much done for my opponent. We'll see what they decide to bring out, though. If it's potentially Urshifu. Yep. Looks like it's the water style too, so I'm feeling pretty good about my chances here. I am going to go back into my Togekiss here, and I am actually going to go for the Quake, I think. Togekiss is fine. Actually, it is the water type since it is moving. Yep, it is water. I actually don't have to switch out. I could actually just go for Expanding Force and Quake. Yeah, there's honestly no drawback to this play. We'll probably see the Gigantamax coming out from the Urshifu or Dynamax, depending on. You could actually run both Dynamax and Gigantamax Urshifu. We do see that the Gigantamax is usually more common. And it looks like it is going to be the Gigantamax, it looks like. And we'll go for, let's see, Max Guard makes sense. Okay. Saw on my last turn Dynamax, but the thing is that the Urshifu won't have enough pressure to beat me. I still have a Togekiss, I have an NDD, and I have a Slowbro and a Gastrodon, so it'd be really tough for my opponent to actually be able to pick up knockouts here, especially since the Urshifu revealing Max Guard, which means it does not have the Assault Vest item, most likely, again, presumably would be on that Duraludon that we saw earlier. So we can go for the, if Is this the last our Trick Room? Yeah, Trick Room expired. So I can Trick Room up here and just go for the Quake. If he can knock out one Pokemon, but he can't knock out both, and I get an enormous amount of damage into the Urshifu. Here comes the Knuckle, gonna come out probably into the NDD. Yep, so NDD does go down, and that will pick up a knockout, but that is completely fine. Earth Power is gonna do a ton here. It is +1 Life Orb boosted. I assume at least does 50% because Urshifu does not have the best special defense in the world. Earth Power, yep, a little bit over 50%, more like 55 into the Dynamax form, as the Hail is going to chip away both Pokemon. But now I can just go out simply into my Slowbro, and Slowbro should be able to tank any attack from the Urshifu, barring, I don't know if it gets a Dark type move. I know, of course, the other one gets a Dark type move, but I'm not sure the water one does. Let's go for the Trick Room here and go for a Earth Power into the Urshifu. Cannot knock out both, and yeah, this should be sealed up. Max Knuckle going to come out once again, probably in a Gastrodon. Probably does knock out. Yeah, so that's completely fine. We do get the Trick Room up, and Slowbro will probably wall this Pokemon. I guess maybe if it's a slow Urshifu, it's better just Expanding Force there, which I guess would have been fine. But I think we'll have this game sealed up. Yeah, because I think Slowbro is just too powerful to stop. Like, Slowbro is way too powerful to stop. Psychic Terrain disappears from the battlefield, so yeah, Expanding Force won't have that offensive presence, but I think we should still be fine regardless. Urshifu, not really known as a slow Pokemon in VGC. It has a base 97 attack stat. I mean, 97 speed stat, 130 attack stat, but yeah. Last turn Dynamax, which means it really shouldn't be able to put on too much pressure here. With the Expanding Force, should be able to knock it out at this range, and if not, the Dazzling Gleam should be able to 100% knock out this Urshifu. So Expanding Force from the Slowbro. Yeah, is able to knock out the Urshifu. Urshifu with its only base 60 defense, or 60 special defense, isn't exactly that great there. So we are able to pick up the first win of today's episode, which is nice to start off with a win, of course. And we'll see if we can continue on and pick up another win. So interesting to see my opponent go out for the Urshifu. I think my opponent could have tried to Dragon Tail my Slowbro, though, if my opponent had it and denied Trick Room, because that was like a way that my opponent could guaranteed actually deny Trick Room, was going for the Dragon Tail into the Slowbro. So interesting to see my opponent not opt for that play. I'm not sure why my opponent decided to go for the Flash Cannon. Maybe thought, oh, he's not gonna, well, he doubled up my slot with both. I think he taunted and Flash Cannon. So interesting decision. But yeah, maybe expecting me not to go for Trick Room and just to side shell arm the Whimsicott there. As we got an interesting team for the second one. It looks like a standard hard Trick Room with the you know, the big Expanding Force with the Psychic Surge, Psyspam as we call it, with NDD, Marowak, Porygon 2, the Hatterene, Gigalith, and the Urshifu. So, unfortunately, Slowbro is not that good in this matchup. I mean, it can work, but the problem is Psyspam is kind of annoying for this team to handle. We do have an Assault Vest Incineroar, though, and it is really good in this matchup, so I will bring the Incineroar out here. Maybe Incineroar plus Gastrodon is okay, because I could Quake immediately, which isn't that bad of an option. I do kind of like that option. Trying to think. Yeah, I think I just don't bring Speed Control in this game. I think Speed Control would be pretty bad in this matchup. I think it's going to be a combination of Incineroar, Togekiss, Gastrodon, Ferrothorn. You know what? Let's go Togekiss. Have to Gastrodon and Ferrothorn in the back. I want to say my Dynamax as late as possible, because the Marowak could be a big concern if I don't have Dynamax Gastrodon, and if I lead it, I might take too much damage overall. So yeah, and especially if I led that combination, I am kind of weak to the Urshifu, which would be a problem. So I think the lead is okay here. I don't like Slowbro in this matchup because it's Expanding Force doing so much damage, because Slowbro is a neutral to it, but it's going to do a lot of damage on the Psychic Terrain because of his base 70 special defense, even with my max special defense investment on it. So we do see the NDD plus the Hatterene lead, no surprise there, as I do lead my Incineroar plus my Togekiss. Right here, I want to go on the offense right away with a Lash Out into the Hatterene, as well as a Dazzling Gleam. I think you have to follow me if you're in NDD, because this is a hard Trick Room team, and most likely you want to be like worried about Parting Shot, for instance. Oh wait, thought I had Lash Out on this Incineroar Chop instead. Oh no, I didn't update the team. It's supposed to have Lash Out. Oh well, it doesn't change too much in this position since there's no Intimidate. So yeah, we'll just double up the Hatterene in case NDD goes for a Rare Protect, which should always be Follow Me. Yeah, no surprise. And most likely Trick Room is going to be opted for here, so that's okay. As we will go for the Dazzling Gleam, just try to get as much damage as we can on my opponent's team. We do get a critical hit on Hatterene, which is nice. It will probably like make my opponent want to question if they want to go for the Gigantamax, and I don't want to deal with G-Max Smite. That's like the worst move in the game. Throat Chop does KO the Indeedee. I don't know if that mattered. It would have been okay if like it stayed on the field. I wouldn't have minded because it would have been easy to bypass because my opponent gets a free switch in and now can send out another offensive threat next to Hatterene. So if that didn't KO, it might have been actually better for me not to have that on the field. But we're gonna see Marowak come out. Okay. So I'm guessing that's going to be the Pokemon that wants the Dynamax, question mark. I'm going to go Ferrothorn since I think it's very unlikely you go for the fire move into the Incineroar, and I like having that Intimidate, and I'm actually going to hard switch out my hard protect my Togekiss here because I want to preserve numbers here, and it's definitely the case. So I'm going to go Ferrothorn here. Dynamax is probably going to come out from the Ferrothorn. I've seen a lot of Dynamax Ferrothorn, or is that the Hatterene's Pokeball, or is that the... Okay, it is the Marowak's Pokeball. I was about to say, it looked like Hatterene's Pokeball. We are going to see the Dynamax from the Marowak. I'm assuming it's going to be a Fire move into the Kiss slot, or Quake predicting maybe Kiss protecting into the Incineroar slot. I just really can't see Fire move targeting the Ferrothorn unless you really hard read this, which I think would be super unnecessary. Dazzling Gleam going to come out, okay, just to get chipped. Fair play. Does an okay amount. It is Life Orb on the Hatterene, okay. Phantasm coming out into the Togekiss slot. Okay. That's not too bad. So the question is, do I need to keep Togekiss around? I am a little bit worried about the Urshifu potentially in the back. If it's Life Orb Hatterene, it most likely has Mystical Fire, so it should go down to a Power Whip. I think going for the Power Whip is fine. And actually just going to go for the Follow Me here. I think this is the safest play, because if I knock out the Hatterene, my Togekiss will be able to redirect the Marowak's attack very safely, and there's really no switching to Power Whip on my opponent's team at all. So yeah, I think Power Whip plus Follow Me is a very safe play here. Assuming I connect. If I connect, it could get ugly if the Expanding Force knocks out my Kiss. It looks like I hit Power Whip though. Okay, cool. So I am able to knock out the Hatterene, which is great. Hatterene does go down. Amazing. Because that Pokemon is a massive, massive threat. And Quake actually comes out, probably trying to anticipate the Incineroar wanting to switch in, playing passive, which I definitely do understand. But I did consider that, but I thought, okay, I don't want to do that because Incineroar could be useful with Intimidate in the late game. And I felt like overall it was fine for me to make that play. We're actually going to see the Water Style Urshifu come out. Okay, maybe Kiss is valuable now. Because I could... Yeah, I think it's valuable now. I'm actually going to sack Ferrothorn and go Instant here. Because there's no way you close combat the Togekiss slot. I feel like you protect probably with Urshifu. If you're going to protect here. And I think like having this physically defensive Togekiss to deal with the Urshifu is way better. So now I think it's worth risking. So, yeah. Like if I have the tool, I'll use it. We're going to see Protect or Detect. Yep, both work. That's fine by me. Power Whip into the Urshifu slot as a Max Flare does come out into my Ferrothorn, which will pick up a knockout, which does set up the Sun, which is completely fine. I do not mind that situation at all. Okay. Gastrodon is slower than Marowak under Trick Room, so I can go out into Gastrodon. I can go for the Max Quake into the Marowak, which is the biggest threat currently onto the field. And I can U-turn out to the Urshifu, go out into my Togekiss for a very safe play. I could have also went Togekiss and Dynamax it, which also could have worked here. Yeah, it definitely could have worked here. But I am going to go for the Quake here, and I am going to go for the U-turn. I do think this is an okay play. Like, I think both plays do work. I want to go Gastrodon because I'm worried about getting crit from the Marowak with Flare Blitz in this situation. But I guess I could have protected, waited for the last turn of Trick Room, and then Dynamax. So, you know, both gameplays I do think work. But I think both of them, like, end up leading to the same result I win. I think the Togekiss one might have been better for me. But, Yeah, that's a bit of a loss in hindsight, but Dynamax Gastrodon, main part of this team. I'm just so used to Dynamax with this Pokemon when I use this team, and it's definitely the main staple. So we'll see what comes out here. Probably a Protect from Marowak, and no Protect actually. So Max Quake going to be able to knock out the Marowak. Yep, because it is a Life Orb Gastrodon, able to eliminate the Marowak min speed to outspeed the Marowak, even if it's min speed, because Gastrodon is a slower Pokemon with lower base speed, as we are going to be able to knock that out, and we will be able to U-turn out this Urshifu, go out in a Togekiss, and yeah, we're in a really good spot here. So Incineroar does switch out here. We will go out into Togekiss, and that should be it, because I do not think Urshifu can handle the combination of these three at all. We're going to see a close combat into the Gastrodon slot, and with that Intimidate, really doesn't do too much damage at all. Lowers his physical defense and special defense. Terrain disappears on the battlefield, as well as the Trick Room. And yeah, I don't think my opponent can win. Even if you go for a double detect with your Urshifu, I think Quake will be able to knock it out potentially after the close combat drop through Protect. So yeah, it should be sealed up. That is going to be forfeited, as my opponent realizes that there is pretty much no way for them to win, and we are going to be able to pick up another win. So that's going to be 4 wins with the team so far. If you haven't already checked out the previous episode, well, I just spoiled it, but you can still watch it anyway. Into this, you can go check it out. But otherwise, if you do want to try out this team alongside me, you can try it out. There is a placement and a rental code, again listed in the description down below. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out. And if you want to support me on other platforms, you can always just check out my Twitch channel, where you can join me and my awesome community for some really fun VGC streams. Or you can also check out my community Discord as well, where we're team building with each other. A lot of great stuff happening there. Highly recommend go check it out, as well as the what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, you can also check out my Patreon page if you want to go an extra mile support me, but you don't have to. There are ways you can support me for free by leaving that like button, as I said before, leaving a comment down below, and sharing this video with friends. Always that help me out. Of course, watching this video always helps me out too, so I'm always grateful to everyone. But is that pretty much all I have to say? Yeah, next time we'll be continue on using this team. We used these teams for 5 episodes. We've already completed 2, including this one. And we got 3 more to go with this team. It's been a really fun team so far. And yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. Have a great day, people. And until we bow again, I'll catch y'all later.